Hello, it's Fiona from the Life Reboot, and I'm back with another of the 3-minute menopause series, and today it's about nutrition. And I know from many of you telling me that there's so much going on. What the heck is happening? Well, there's something there's a big change which happens. There's lots of changes, lots of hormonal things going on, but the main one is that we become more carbohydrate sensitive as a net result of all the hormonal changes which are happening. And that means, in a nutshell, that we are more likely to hold on to any fat, and particularly around the midsection, which is probably where we least want it, right? It's kind of like its own little estrogen factory, and for health reasons it's quite useful to have a little bit of extra going on around the midsection. But what if you don't like it, if it's too much, if you've had to buy a whole new load of clothes because you've just got too much estrogen factory? Well, let me tell you 3 things you can do about this. So the first one, carbohydrate sensitive, means to watch your intake of carbohydrates. I'd go just for the really good ones. That starts with the vegetables, some fruit, and some of the really good grains. Don't bother with the white stuff, the white rice, the white pasta, as best you can. Removing the cakes, the pastries, and the dependency which we have on sugar, which kind of leads to what's going on here, right? So that's the first thing. Have your quality carbohydrates, ditch the rubbish ones. Secondly, sugar. Well, yes, that in itself is a carbohydrate, isn't it? And it's one that often we have such a dependency on. It's an emotional thing. We have it from when we're babies, we're given breast milk, which is slightly sweet, and we love sweet things. We know from an evolutionary standpoint that having the sweet things helps to build up the fat to have in the downtime, the months and months when we wouldn't have any fruit or honey and things like that. So making some sensible switches, do have some fruits, so rather than having something chocolatey, or if you're going to have something chocolatey, then do have something that you really enjoy. So start to think about where you can make some good switches to some of the healthier things that you can have, and there's tons of recipes out there, there's tons of things in the shops you can have with the least amount of ingredients if you're having something sweet. And thirdly, and this all helps with the sweet stuff, maybe experiment with some spices and some spices and some herbs, so that your food is a little bit more spicy or a little bit more sour, a little bit more tangy. So your lemons, your limes, your citrusy things, even things like pickles and sauerkrauts, all of those things help to retrain the palate really, so that you're not so dependent on sweet things. And most of that just comes from up here anyway. So there we are, just over 3 minutes on food. I could go on for hours, so if you want to know more about what I do, contact me, Fiona at thelifereboot.co.uk. Until next time.